Ooh, hello there, my fellow theme park designers. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to Sci-Fi versus the Wild West. And we're over at our log ride looking at our queue. I once again am trying to find a way of expanding this out a little bit because this line is still jammed up at the front there. And as you might have saw, this is now called Buzzsaw Falls. So thank you so much to DJ Technoid for the amazing idea. I love that name because within our log ride, of course, we have all these little saws spinning about. So we have this one up here, and of course way at the top of the camp, so this is over here at the logging camp, we have this amazing one over here that the car actually goes right through. So thank you for that idea. Absolutely love it. So moving to our back section, this was an area that we talked about in our last episode, and we might get to it today, but I've been trying to come up with an idea. So last episode I had hashtag back corner ideas, and I've got some great ones. So like more logging camps, an abandoned town, which I loved. But I think I've got a little bit of a roller coaster fever, and I might do a wooden roller coaster back here. Just a little something, you know, we're thinking about it. Another idea that was good was to take maybe our, where was it? It's in our scenery tool, and it's the oil duct. So maybe get that set up here and maybe find within the rides. Now we took a little look at this before, was trying to find something that might have a theme that would be kind of like an oil pump or something along those lines. And I think we'd have found one of these. It was this one. Yes, it was this one. Kind of had a little bit of an oil pump kind of feel to it. So we might consider that. Another thing that I thought of, so where was this one? I wanted to run this by you. Ah, here it is. What if we took these bumper cars? Now, looking at these, this is clearly not a Western theme, but maybe if we build up a barn around it and it's some kind of rodeo theme. Give me some thoughts on those. So let me know if any of those are decent ideas. And then shooting over to our entrance to Western Land over here. I know I'm going to get to the roller coaster in just a second because I got some cool things to show you over there. We'd also spoken about potentially making the only way into our Western lands was via the train. Now that was completely mixed. It was like yes and no. So we'll think about it. I think we'll put it on the back burner. We'll put some more thought into it. I think if we did it, it would be more of a test, if anything. And it would also give you guys playing maybe some inspiration if it worked. I think that would be pretty cool. But this is our roller coaster. We built this in our last episode, and I can't be any more happy with this. Now, is it 100% perfect and accurate? Not really. I'm more of like a theme guy. I'm more of like a big concept design ideas than like really precise engineering. So yeah, it might not have the highest excitement rating, but I think aesthetically it's really good. So here's our ratings. I know it's not perfect. This actually was in the green, but it moved up just a little bit recently, and I'm not 100% sure. I think it was an alteration I made to the block station up there. But other than that, I think it's really cool. Now, I've been taking the terrain and I've been kind of morphing it around, just adding more little curves and more little details here and there. And I think that really helps, at least in my mind, add some more excitement that you're buzzing your way through these little tunnels and things like that. I think that really adds a lot of excitement. Now, unfortunately, the game doesn't determine that as excitement, but to me, it does. So just building up all these little caves and details and things along those lines, I think it's going to start to look really cool. And I think we're getting there, really. I'm trying to get as many of the supports. Oh, wow, look at it go. Oh, that's so cool. So trying to get these up as much as possible, trying to clean that all up. Okay, so the final thing, because I asked you guys a ton of questions, and I've got the comments here. I've been scrolling through them as I was getting the video ready. This is our little spot right here. I gave you two options, a dam or a trestle bridge. Now, there was a lot of dam hype, but unfortunately, I don't think the dam's gonna work. I know you guys, there was just a little bit more dam votes than there was trestle bridge votes. So I've decided, I think we're gonna go with the trestle bridge. Now, the reason being is I've going through the building materials and I can't find anything that will look decent. Like if we did like a curve, like the Hoover Dam or something along those lines, it just doesn't look quite right. And it has to be, you have to build the terrain up to put water behind it. So I'm going to make it up to you guys. I know there was more votes for dam, but I think I'm going to make it up for you guys with this amazing design. So my thoughts are that we're going to jump over here and let's just kind of take a little look in the building sets. Let's throw in some rustic. Let's throw in a little old west here. and I've been going back and forth with some designs, trying to cover up the track. See, these support pieces are really ugly, and our goal is to disguise them. So we need to do some brainstorming. So first thing potentially is natural wood arches like these. So we could potentially set these downwards like that and work them upwards like so, and potentially we could get a really cool design. Now that's kind of a choice one. So another idea is to find those little posts we used in a lot of our building designs. Ah, here they are. So these, we could change it to something a little bit different so it's not green, but oh, that's not good. This is super small. Oh, this is really disappointing. These are really, really small. You know, I had these big dreams, guys. I had big dreams, believe me, and none of these are working out. Oh, this is disappointing. Ah, here's the actual piece I was really planning on using. Oh, it's so small. See, I was thinking about building these up around the actual supports. This isn't gonna work. Let me do just a little bit of brainstorming. Welcome back, and one thing I love to do in this game is to pause it and just walk through the landscape and see all of these incredible characters, and this is a perfect example. Look at those little kids eating hamburgers, and do they have magic bands on? It looks like the magic bands from Disney World, and look at the variety of characters and styles. Like, look at these two eating some milkshakes, looking super fancy. Wait a second. Wait 1 second, this guy's got a pirate hat on. Haha, I love it. I love looking down here and just seeing everybody happy and enjoying their day here at the park, and very, 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 very cool. So this guy's like, wait, what? What is he looking at? Oh, it's one of the entertainment characters. Oh, I love it. I love it. So cool. Oh, they're all actually positioned around her. Oh, I love this game so much. The attention to detail from the developers is just staggering. Like, take a look at this. Before I show you my plans for today's episode, look at the detail in the actual like wheel mechanisms of the train. Like, that's attention to detail right there. That's commitment. I love it so very much. So let's get back to work here. So down here, I have been brainstorming for a good hour, trying to come up with some ideas, and I tried a little bit of a damn design again. I still wasn't able to nail it. So we're back to the trestle, and I think we've got it. So original ideas have been thrown out because those pieces turned out to be way too small. Those ideas came to me while I was driving in the car. Like, I was like, wait, I can use these pieces and I can make this design. Then when I get home and try it, turns out it didn't work, but we're not gonna let that stop us. We're gonna find this button right here, track supports, and we can turn it off. Now, this kind of feels kind of cheating to me, to be honest with you a little bit. But I'm okay with it because I'm actually going to be building up my own supports. So within this bridge that we're going to build, we're actually going to have our own, kind of custom supports. So then it is still kind of realistic. So I think it'll work out really nice. So we have that built up, and I got a comment actually from Dragonflex, and he says that there is something in the kind of the coaster creation tool called like the smooth tool. Now, I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. So I need that to be a little bit more explained to me, because it definitely would be nice in some of the areas where maybe the coaster is a little too intense, where we could kind of back it off a little bit so it's not overly intense, so we can get the maximum riders possible. So down here is what I found, and it is the wood frame structure. And let's be honest, this thing is kind of amazing. So let's get right into this. So what I've done is, oh, wow, we're like right in the middle there. That's super cool. So actually, let's see. I need to get this like directly in the center. So if we get this, oh, come on now. Come on. Position yourself, Scott. Position yourself. Okay. So watch this. If we lower this down a little bit. All right. So we're in the reds at this point. There it is. We just need to find the exact point when this turns blue. Beautiful. Right there. That's how we do it. So we get this right directly in the middle, double check in the middle, double checking. That's in the middle. Perfect. So then what we're going to do is, hey now, why you do what you do? Why you do that? Why you do that? Oh, there's this little hump right there. Let's fix that. Let's fix that together here. So let's make sure we get this in the middle. So let's get that perfectly in the middle. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop that down until it turns blue once again. Come on, give me that blue. Give me that blue. There it is. Oh, nope. Come on, come on. There it is. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this all the way outwards like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build these downwards. So take all these pieces and just continue to bring them all the way down, and then have kind of an arch in the center. Does that not sound like the most amazing bridge design ever? So let me get this all built up for you. And that is one super awesome Trestle bridge, which still needs some modifications. So let's kind of dive in here. See how I kind of had this cool little arch over the canyon. So I think that looks really nice. I've also added just a little bit more terrain on the bottom section. Now right here where that's a little bit iffy, where the track doesn't exactly touch the bridge. Now I think that could be okay, but the perfectionist in me is screaming right now. So we might have to add a couple extra supports here and there. So I think we're totally going to be able to do that. But what's definitely glaringly ugly is these pieces right here. They don't have any connections to them. So, oh, that's a really cool view right there. Oh, that is amazing. See this little bridge going piece up there? Oh, I absolutely love that. Anyway, I'm getting super distracted. So why don't we grab a hold of this, edit the building, give ourselves a little clickety click and a clack. There we go. Looking pretty darn awesome. There we go. And where was it? Okay, so ooh. Can I use this for something? Hold on. I get easily distracted. How can I incorporate that in there instead? Would that look? No, but what if I actually brought this down here and maybe closer to the bottom? That might actually look cool as kind of the supports. I don't know. I think I could use this, but I'm not 100% sure. But what I definitely can is these pieces. So let's pick the spot right here in the center. So these little boards are all crisscrossing, all crazy. So let's kind of line this piece up. So this isn't the exact same wood style nor color, but I think this will work. So see this piece right there? We're going to grab that and we're going to give this a couple little adjustments here. So we'll swivel that down. Oh, this is perfect. This is going to work out really well. So if we bring that down just in line, come on, give it to me. There you go. And then we're going to give this just another little bit of a rotate. So if we grab that, grab out this, there we go, and move that out just a little bit, just with a little bit more fine tuning here and there. We can maybe even duplicate it so it can make it all the way to the end. There we go. So something like that. And we fill in all of these spaces. So across here, 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 and all around, I think we'll finally get one super awesome bridge design. That looks quite a bit better. So as you can see around the bottoms here, I've added all those little pieces. So I think that really cleans up the bridge and make this look a lot nicer. Now we need to make a decision here on the top section. I think adding a little bit of a rail here will make the roller coaster track feel a little bit more part of the bridge. Now question, I have two designs that I'm looking towards. So this design right here, very simple, just kind of play off the same design that crisscrosses all throughout the bridge. This one's a slight bit more detailed, a little bit more dense, so it has a little bit more pieces back and forth. So which one do you like better? Do you like choice A is down at the first section? So this is just a general crisscross, very default design, or choice B, which of course is a slightly more detailed design. So in the comments, hashtag choice A or hashtag choice B, let me know. Now I have to decide which one I'm gonna do for the video because at least you gotta do one of them. And boy, it's kind of a tough decision. I mean, I like the back of this one better, but I like the front of this one slightly better. It's very difficult. So get those comments going, make up your mind, and I gotta kind of decide which one I'm gonna do. Welcome back and take a look at our brand new Trestle bridge looking super fancy. We have our beautiful drop flowing down to the bridge with all sorts of beautiful support structures and details. I think it came out really nice. So of course we went with this choice and I thought, you know what, why don't we dial it up to our most extreme design, the most detailed version. If we decide we don't like it in the end, we can always dial it back down, but I think it's better to go a little bit extreme at the beginning and then, you know, you can kind of adjust from there. So I think it looks pretty good. I was thinking about just adding lots of random little, you know, slats and boards and little knobs and things on it. But you know what? I want to keep it fairly smooth, very symmetrical. We're not going to look at this from like a great, you know, close-up range. We're going to be more looking at it from a distance. So I think that'll be okay. But like I was saying, I was going to take like little boards like this and just kind of sneak them all around. But I think it looks pretty good. I'm very happy with that. But we've got to move on now, my friends, and start working on the station. So we got to think of some mine design. So I'm looking up some old, you know, mines from Idaho and things like that, all kind of torn down. And got some really good inspiration. So what I've decided for layout wise, we're gonna have our station built here. We're gonna have our entrance moving in, of course, from here, and we're gonna have our exit out this way. So I'm gonna have my guests funnel themselves out this way. We'll dig down a little bit under the track and then meet up with this path line here. We're gonna have our queue kind of sneaking around through here and then end up right in this little section. I think that's a really cool entrance into the Wild West lands and see a beautiful marquee for our brand new Wild West ride. So I've got to get busy here. So I want to establish a basic structure, and then from there we can start adding the details. And let me get started with that. It looks a little silly at this point, but believe me, I think we are getting there. So the design of the building is going to have this kind of amazing tower at the top. Now, the reason for that is looking at a lot of mine designs, similar to what we did on Hermitcraft, is they have these kind of towers. They built up over the, say, the side of a cliff, and then that is maybe the mine shaft going deep underground, and they might have some, you know, wheels turning at the top. So I think that'll be really, really cool. So if we can build up like a nice little tower up here with some of the gears turning, so it looks like maybe there's an elevator going down into the shaft, I think that would look really, really cool. So I readjusted the entrances and the exits. They originally were on the side, so I swapped them over there. I picked up the entire building and made an entire circle with it, so I hope I've lined it up appropriately. But I think this will look really, really cool, and especially leaving the station building and going down that hill and into the Trestle Bridge, I think will be really, really sweet. So yeah, I think we're getting there. So it's going to take just a little bit more time. And then look at these pieces too. I think these are really, really cool little pieces and details that we've added along these edges. And yeah, eventually we're going to get ourselves a little tower on the top, and I'll see you when we get it. Welcome back. And we now have ourselves a structure looking very nice, I believe. So let's kind of dive in and take a look at the details. So originally when I was kind of starting out with this build, I realized that it was getting very similar to some of our other structures, similar to our log ride and our train ride and things of that nature. And the main cause of this is mostly because the station is exactly the same dimensions. And when you start kind of encasing the entire station, you start making it kind of look like the other ones. So where we're going to try to make some things look a little different is this back section right here. Remember how we're trying to create this elevator kind of mine shaft design going downwards. Now, looking at like old, you know, different kinds of mine shafts, like I said before earlier in the video, we're going to do some, you know, gears that make it look like, you know, this is like an elevator gears pulling up carts and things of that nature. So I think that'll look pretty cool. Now, what we need to start doing is pulling out our station. So let's give ourselves a little bit of room. There we go. And we're going to start kind of working ourselves downwards a little bit and just create a nice queue. Now, I want to keep this area somewhat open, just enough to put something kind of decorative right there. And I'm thinking in terms of maybe mine carts and things along those lines. Now, we don't want to have the same problem that we had, of course, with our log ride, where the queue just does not seem to be long enough. So I think this is going to be a perfect length. There we go, looking super fancy. Now, that's a very kind of generic pathway that can definitely be enhanced in many different ways. So we'll kind of hold off on that for now, so we can at least have potential, you know, changes in the future. Oh, geez, what in the world's going on here? Things got a little crazy there. So let's back that off a little bit and see if we can take this without disturbing the walls. Okay, good. We got it, guys. Perfect. And then we'll start bringing this outwards and let's kind of cut that down. There we go, looking super fancy. And then I think it'd be really nice to have this kind of run right along the tracks here. Can we go right under it? Oh, we can't. Okay, let me fix this. Now we're just painting ourselves a nice little pathway. So we're trying to use the same theme that we've used before. We start with a base of sand and then we smooth out the edges like so, looking very nice. So yeah, taking this lighter sand material, and this one's really nice. So always start with kind of a nice base like that, and then you can really, really smooth it out very nice like so. Now, I don't know what this thing is, but it's really cool because especially around the edges. So let's take it really close in here. Let's move down our intensity. Let's smooth down our brush a little bit. And look at this. We can kind of brush in this kind of shinier material. And it really adds like a nice little extra layer to the pathway, so it's not so bright, if you will. It kind of smooths it out just ever so slight. And we can add maybe a little rocks around this section because it's a little bit more rocky right here. Now this one, I don't know what this is. I don't know what you call any of these particular, you know, rock materials, but let's just kind of smooth it out. We're trying to get as much of the standard ground material out as possible, because that is so prevalent and it just gets so repetitive. So never trying to do the same thing too much. You never want to do it too much. You just kind of want to smooth it in, smooth it out. And I'll be honest, this is like my favorite part of the game. I really enjoy this part. And sometimes you can find these spots like this. See what I'm doing right here? Just kind of making a little trail back there. I think that looks really nice. And it just kind of invites you to think like, ooh, what's back there? That's very intriguing. So yeah, I think that's really cool. So we got that smoothed out. Now my other thoughts are for this area. This is when things are gonna get a little crazy. So buckle up with me here as we go to Crazy Town. Let's grab out our Western section. There we go. and give it to me. There we go. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's down here somewhere. I always lose the minecart. It just blends in with the rest of this stuff. No, that's the big wagon. No, that's the covered. Ah, there it is. All right, this thing is so tricky to find. Okay, so say we move this thing up like so, and then we put down some track below it. And if we can find like some kind of rubble to put down on the bottom section, that would look really cool. Like, you know, they're processing the ore and they're dumping out the excess rock and dirt, and that's kind of being piled up here. So like I said, track under here, a little door opening, and maybe do 2 or 3 of those across there. Now, other things we need to do is maybe open this up a little bit, add some windows, and then at the very top, I still got to figure out about the gears and potentially a rope or something going downwards there. But other than that, like the base structure of this is definitely complete. Now it's time to do my favorite part, the detailing. Finally, we have some progress. I've been working on the scenery, getting some tents and mechanical wonders rolling for our mine. So let's take a look at this. So remember how we started out here? So we've got our little mine carts here looking super fancy. Like I said, I wanted to get some piles of dirt, and that's kind of the best I could do. I still want to add something to it to make it look like, you know, a little bit more rubble, but I think it's starting to come out. So the cars, little winches or something along those lines. I think that's looking pretty sweet. And then on the back side here, looking very fancy. We've got some big doors and just a door for people to go through, lights and TNT and all sorts of wonderful things. But I know what you were looking at. You were looking at this thing. That is right. So this is pulling up, you know, the elevators and all of those things out of the mine shaft. And I think that looks really cool. So this one's kind of turning about. So I need something to go downward, right? I need something that makes it look like, you know, maybe some like cables going back and forth. I haven't found that yet, but definitely working towards that. And these things, I love it. I think that really adds a lot to the particular build we're trying to design. And let's kind of shoot inside here real quick. I'm working on a boiler. It's not done yet. It's still a work in progress. I have the smokestack coming out of it. It doesn't come out in an ideal location. See where it comes out right there. So that's a little bit funny. And let's see, I think I may have, yes, right here. I moved the pathway just a little closer to this section so that people in the queue could get closer to that for an increase in the scenery rating, which I know we're not still there yet. We're getting there. And by the way, my fear rating went out of green again. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's because one of the break stations isn't as powerful, you know, certain times. So I'm not exactly sure how to fix that. Anyway, we're starting to move it up. We're up to 40% on the scenery rating. So we need to get that to 100, make that green, and let's at least get this to 1500 like our log ride. So we can maybe disperse some of our guests out of that line and into this queue. And yeah, I think this is definitely starting to come together. Now, what we need to start working on is the scenery. Start getting some of that rock built up, start getting some of those plants in. And here comes the car itself, looking super fancy. Let's take a look at it and roll into the station. Aha, very, very, very awesome. Look at all those little dummies in there. Very, very awesome. All right, so let me finish this up. We now have our scenery installed and ready to roll. So let's take a look at this. So we got our nice little entrance here. I put a natural arch around that. Eventually we'll get a little bit more mining related marquee, so I think that'll look cool, but I love this being framed up by the dead tree. And if we zoom in here, you can see all sorts of neat little plant life, the prickly pears and whatever these bushes are. And you can see this entire queue as you approach it through the arch. I think that looks really nice. We got some cactuses and a whole variety full of different landscaping materials. We have some rocks and a little miner's camp right here. I think looks really, really cool. We've got the fires and of course the tents and all sorts of incredible detail built within. And here it is. Look at this. We've got all those little boxes and crates and all sorts of wonderful things. And I think this is starting to look really cool. There's, you know, this rock, I don't know why. This rock's kind of bothering me. I'm going to move it just a little bit. I don't want it that close to those. Nah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get rid of it. Not 100% into it. So like I said, I want this to be a little bit more kind of rocky, like it's really being dumped out through here. I think that looks pretty nice. And then swooping on over to the other side, got lots of little details back here. Pathway built up, and of course, lots of little rocks and dead trees all scattered about. And I love this, like we talked about before. We've got the little mechanical details right there. And once we start adding more theme to the actual, whoa, we almost hit a bird there. Once we start adding some more details, so help me come up with some ideas for the ride. Like scenery things, go hashtag roller coaster ideas, or little things that we could put along the tracks, maybe scenery, explosions, TNT, start getting some ideas, potentially some more like mining, structures we could put along here. But this is one of my favorite views in the entire game right here. Look at this view of the track, going through the canyons. Absolutely beautiful. Now if we back all the way up here, whoa, now we're on the side of a tunnel. Hold on guys, I'm sorry, I'm not good at the camera. There we go. And of course our Trestle bridge we built in the first episode. I've been at this for like 5 hours. I kind of forgot I built this. I kind of forgot I built this. So I think that looks really, really sweet, along with our brand new station. Now, of course, there's many more details and more trees to put in. But like I said, I've been at this for quite some time and I got to get this rendered so you can enjoy it tomorrow. So until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserved a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later.